It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What's God? 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 These guys know sports. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports, live here on the Worldwide Sports Network on this Wednesday, July the 15th, with my co-host Clarence Dixon. What's up, Clarence?
Man, how you doing today, man? I'm
doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Everybody remember going to follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. We live on the Worldwide Sports Network. Clarence, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. I had an accident on a Monday show, man. I'm feeling a lot better. Got a lot of rest and drank a lot of water today, man. I'm feeling 100% better.
We definitely glad that you're feeling better, bro, man, because that was a scary moment for you on Monday. Yeah. Towards the end of the show, we be live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we had fans that was watching and so forth. People was reaching out asking what really happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you want to elaborate before we get into our show about what kind of happened real quick before we get into it.
Yeah, I keep it brief. Thank you, Brother Trey, man. I was very dehydrated. I was very dehydrated at my grandmother's house. Obviously I didn't drink no water as much as today. Usually I drink water a lot. And she, in a moment when we was doing the show, she was getting her AC fix, or like central air, like the coolant fix. So the AC was on. So I would just sweating and I was just feeling so hot. And then all of a sudden I just passed out. Like, I'm just like, what the hell? And then I hit my head, and I hit my elbow real hard. Went to the hospital, got a head exam, a CT. That was the first time ever I got a CT exam. So that was kind of cool. But they came up and said I'm fine, and it could have been worse though. But they draw blood, and I'm all right.
I'm glad that you're back, bro. We glad that you're all right. Yeah, we was worried, man, but we glad that you're all right. But grandma's house is always hot.
Yeah,
grandma's house is always hot. Yeah, yeah, it be like that. But everybody, we got a big time show ahead, as we're going to have 3-star recruit Benjamin Roy joining the show here in a bit as a guest on the Wise Guys Sports Show. He's class of 2021 high school football draft class. He attends Liberty High School, so we're going to have him on the show here in a bit, talk some football, talk some UCLA here in a bit. But Clarence, as we open up the show today on Wise Guys on the Worldwide Sports Network, so I want everybody to know that before we come on here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we always prepare. We get our topics together. We pick certain topics that we want to talk about, the ones that's important and that's meaningful. So there was something that I looked at and found in the news today that I didn't tell you or Jordan about when we talked about our outline this morning. And we had our outline set up. We had everything set in order, and Jordan had sent us the email and everything. And then I was on YouTube watching some videos on my sports, and I came across a video, Clarence, that I thought was very, very interesting. And it was something that I had to discuss before we bring on Benjamin, because it was something that really, really pissed me off and it rubbed me the wrong way. So Cam Newton went on record and he revealed that the Carolina Panthers, they told him that they were going to be releasing him via text. They text Cam Newton that they were going to be releasing him via text. And this happened on, I believe, March 24th is when they texted him. So I want to start off right there, because when I look at this situation with Cam Newton in Carolina, and I'm going to give you my opinion about this, and I want you to respond, because this really, really irked my nerves, Clarence, and it rubbed me the wrong way when I read this story earlier. So basically, March 16th is when free agency started. And then teams were allowed to officially sign players March 18th. So the Carolina Panthers, they decided to text Cam on March 24th and inform him that they're going to be releasing him. And I had a major issue with that, Clarence. I had a major, major issue, because the issue here is we're talking about Cam Newton, who devoted 9 years to this franchise. Cam Newton, 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback, 2015 NFL MVP, 2015 Offensive Player of the Year, 2011 NFL Rookie of the Year. He became the first player in NFL history to throw for over 400 passing yards in his first NFL game. And I believe Cam Newton is the best player in Carolina Panthers history. They had a poll about a few weeks ago where they asked the poll question, who was the greatest Panther in Panther history? Who was the greatest player in Panther history? And they had the candidates of the following. They had Steve Smith, they had Luke Kuechly, and Julius Peppers. They didn't even have Cam Newton as one of the candidates to be one of the greatest Panthers of all time. The disrespect that they are aiming in Cam Newton's direction is unbelievable. And I got some people I want to call out today on Wise Guys. Let me go through these names real quick for you. Head coach Matt Rule for the Carolina Panthers, Marty Hurney, the general manager for the Carolina Panthers, and David Tepper, the owner for the Carolina Panthers. Y'all are disrespecting Cam Newton. And I know if Ron Rivera was still in Carolina, this would have been handled much differently. There is no way in hell a player that devotes 9 years to a franchise and basically carried this franchise all throughout the years. The only reason that the Carolina Panthers was relevant, Clarence, was because of Cam Newton. He was 68 and 55 as his career record, being a Carolina Panthers starter. He carried them to the Super Bowl in 2015. Carried them with no offensive weapons whatsoever. Does Cam Newton have the weapons that Matty Ice has in Atlanta with Julio Jones and Freeman at one point? Did he have the weapons that even Aaron Rodgers had in his career? And Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb? Has he had the weapons that Tom Brady had and Julian Edelman, Randy Moss in his career? No. Cam Newton has carried the Carolina Panthers throughout the postseason on the Super Bowl appearances with nobodies. And I believe it's disrespectful for Matt Rule, Marty Hurney, David Tepper to send him a text message to release him. It's unbelievable. Cam deserved better than that, Clarence. I don't give a damn what you say about how flamboyant Cam can be, about his touchdown celebrations and his first down celebrations, the Superman. I have no problem with it. I think it's nice because the NFL needs entertainment. But to disrespect him and send him a text message, it's not the right thing to do. And you've been in relationships, Clarence. If you're going to break up with somebody, break up with them and leave it alone. Don't lead them on to believe they have a chance to still be with you. You break up and you move on. We've seen it's always a situation where these general managers, they always handle these things wrong because they end up telling Cam, like, well, you can seek a trade. They already had their mind made up that they was going to release Cam. They had already went through the process of trying to find a trade partner. Then you want to tell Cam, well, you can seek a trade if you want to. You already had your mind made up that you weren't going to trade him. He had no offers on the table. Don't tell me I can seek a trade. Your mind was already made up that you were releasing me. And they did Cam a disservice. And I think it was wrong how they basically text him and releasing him. I think Cam deserved better. Your reaction.
And I'm impressed, Mr. Larkins. I'm impressed. Quick thing. First of all, I partially agree with that Cam that carried the whole Carolina team to the playoff because he had a reliable tight end in Greg Olsen. And
That's it.
That's about it. That's all I want to say about that part.
Yeah.
I want to say about that part. And then the second part is that I agree with you. I agree with you that they knew what they was doing with Cam Newton. Like you said, the free agent started March 14th, and by the time you could have released Cam because you knew in the beginning you was about to go into another direction, another direction and stuff. You should have let it dress to Cam Newton. And you see what they did with Ron Rivera. They felt like it was time for a new rebuild to go into a whole new direction, so they got rid of him. And they got rid of him, and they felt like, hey, if we get rid of the coach, we got to get rid of his franchise player that he drafted. And that was and that was Cam Newton. But here's the thing. I think for Carolina, they didn't like the fact that what Cam Newton did on the field and off the field, they felt like it wasn't more productive.
What did he do off the field, Clarence? What did he do off the field?
They felt like he was a distraction. Because I seen multiple reports how his press conference wasn't the best professional and the goofy outfits he wear. And believe it or not, they probably didn't want to have that around their organization because they felt like it would turn into a distraction. And plus, they were losing. I'm not agreeing with them, Trey. I'm not agreeing with them. I'm just telling their point of view.
No, I understand that, but here's the thing, though, Clarence. Nobody have a problem with them moving on from Cam. The problem is how you handled it. The problem is he deserved some type of decency to bring him into your office. David Tepper, the owner for the Carolina Panthers.
That was like totally unprofessional. It was
unprofessional.
But the simple fact, this is the guy you drafted number 1 in 2011, and he was the first overall pick for you, and he led your team to the Super Bowl in 2015, plus an MVP right then and there. So he deserved much respect, and I truly believe that he's one of the best Carolina players in history, like top 5.
Easily.
Like you can't just like ignore the fact of what he brought to Carolina, and now you moving into a whole direction trying to forget what he did brought. So that's the problem right there too. Like, if you're gonna respect a man, respect what he brought to the table. Respect what he done for the organization. Give him respect there. And telling him that we released you through a text message was a punk move. It was a punk move to the point like, you know, you was about to get rid of him. You should have man up and tell him.
Yes, and my thing is, when free agency started, they knew they wanted to sign Teddy Bridgewater. They knew they wanted Teddy Bridgewater once free agency started, and they brought in Teddy Bridgewater. You could have released Cam anytime between March 16th to the 24th. They waited a whole entire week before they finally let Cam go. They had their mind made up that they wanted to move on from Cam once they couldn't find a trading partner from Cam Newton. They wanted to release him. They should have let him know and brought him into their office. That's the right way to do things. Period. Regardless, it's okay to want to move on. Look, we in relationships. People in relationships every day. People in divorces every day. If you're in a marriage, there should never be no divorce through text message. You shouldn't say I want divorce through text message. That's something that you sit down with your partner with and you discuss face to face. That's the same thing in a business relationship. I'm going to sit down with you and let you know face to face what I'm about to do and how I'm moving forward. And I wish you nothing but the best on your future endeavors. That's the right thing to do. Matt Rule, Marty Herney, David Tepper, they all dropped the ball here. And it really irritated me because I'm like, he has done more for this franchise than either of these three individuals. They ain't did nothing for the Carolina Panthers franchise yet. And like I said, if Ron Rivera was still the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, I believe, Clarence, that this situation would have been handled much differently and much more professional. So this is a bad start for Matt Rule as a head coach for the Carolina Panthers. He already on thin ice with me because how he handled this whole entire Cam Newton situation. Cam Newton is not a player that was just on your team that was just average. This is one of the greatest players in Panther history. And if I'm in that locker room now, if I'm one of those players that's going to be playing for Matt Rule or David Tepper or Marty Herney, I'm thinking, well, damn, if y'all treated Cam that way, how y'all going to treat me when it's my time up? How you going to treat me? Do you see where I'm going with this? If you're a player in that locker room, you got to ask yourself that. Because Cam, listen, say what you want about Cam, Clarence. Cam left it all on the field. He was injured. He was injured majority of his time with the Carolina Panthers. And guess who showed up every single Sunday for the Carolina Panthers at the quarterback spot? It was Cameron Newton. We always see Cam in uniform, and if he could give it a go, he was playing. And I just think it's disrespectful how they handled the releasing of him in this situation. If you want to move on, fine. But it's about how you do it, and they went about it the wrong way, and it's disrespectful. And it's basically just disrespects him for what he accomplished and what he meant to that franchise.
Certainly, definitely. I agree with you there, Mr. Lark. I agree with you there. But this is an ongoing situation now. Cam Newton signed with the New England Patriots. So we got to see what he goes from there, see what he brings into Foxborough.
I agree with you on that. I've been watching his show. He has a YouTube show right now. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out with Odell, Victor Cruz, and Todd Gurley. They got a show right now that they've been talking about different things, the COVID-19 and football, a lot of different topics they hit. I ain't got a chance to watch the entire video yet, but I'm gonna check it out. But I'm interested to see what his thoughts was about this situation in Carolina and how his tenure ended so badly, because it was something ain't right here. It just, that's not how you end things with your franchise player that's carried the franchise for 9 years. It's wrong, and they did him a disservice, and they really did him bad in this situation. And I don't like it, and it's not okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Hey, but man, we gotta move on, man. But everybody, remember, go follow us on Facebook, on Wise Guys, Instagram, These Guys Know Sports, and Twitter, Wise Guys _OH. And make sure you give us a subscribe button to our YouTube page at Wise Guys. And we are here live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. All right, brother Trey, man, we got to move up. We staying in the NFL. Now we pushing it up to the NFC North. So lately we've been seeing chaos in the Green Bay. Green Bay is always chaos in the Green Bay. But Marcellus Lewis stated that Aaron Rodgers is a grown man. He's not buying to the hype of Jordan Love coming into Lambeau, Green Bay Packers team. So tell me, are you buying that Jordan Love won't be a distraction to Aaron Rodgers this season?
Hell no, he won't be no distraction to Aaron Rodgers. This is the great Aaron Rodgers that we're talking about. Marcellus Lewis was right on the money. This is a grown man Aaron Rodgers that we're talking about. And we're talking about a two-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, also a Super Bowl championship on his resume, 364 career touchdown passes, 84 interceptions, nearly a 5-to-1 touchdown interception ratio for his career. He has over 46,000 passing yards clearance. He's getting closer to that 47,000 mark. And guess what? He hasn't thrown double-digit interceptions since 2010. And in 2010, he only threw 11 that year. So Aaron Rodgers is a great player. And I don't believe them bringing in Jordan Love is going to distract Aaron from the task at hand. The task at hand is to get the Packers back to the Super Bowl. We were within one game against the Super Bowl last year. We were 13-3 on the season, won the NFC North, and Aaron Rodgers led us to the playoffs on a nice playoff run. We got beat down by the 49ers in the Bay, but it was a nice playoff run that Aaron Rodgers led us on. Aaron Rodgers has his sights set on number 2, not Jordan Love.
I want to believe you so much. I want to believe like Aaron Rodgers, but I just feel like I am buying into the Jordan Love will definitely be a distraction. You got to think about what Aaron Rodgers deals with every day. Hey man, this is a new quarterback and you mentor him. Hey man, is you still the same guy from 2011, 2010 decade that you got 2 MVPs and the Super Bowl? A Super Bowl, excuse me. Like, is you the same guy? It's so many questions that Rodgers go through so much. And I think it can possibly be a distraction towards him because at the end, all he wants to do is win football games, and all everybody in paparazzi wants to do is ask him when's Jordan Love ever gonna play or when you leaving Green Bay. So I think that's gonna be a big distraction towards Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers, he's one of them guys. Let's be honest, he's one of them guys that don't really follow the media, that doesn't like get into the hype. But if you take him off, he's going to react to it. He's going to react to it. And I think if it comes to a point that the Green Bay Packers feel like Aaron Rodgers not their best chance, gives them the best chance to win, then we might do see Jordan Love.
No, let me slam the door shut on that right now. Over the next 3 or 4 years, Aaron Rodgers gives us the best chance to win. It's not Jordan Love. Stop it right now. There's no if the Packers believe you're trying to say if the Packers believe that Jordan Love gives them the best chance, there is no Jordan Love giving the Packers a better chance to win over Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to happen.
Well, you don't draft a quarterback in the first round and expect them to think they finna sit for an awfully long time behind a quarterback production has slightly fallen apart in the 2 or 3 year span.
Did you see how long Aaron sat behind Brett Favre? He sat behind Brett Favre
3 years, but at the same time, is it like the same with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers? Think about it. You got a whole new coach that needs his quarterback. That drafted his quarterback for the future. Jordan Love is the future right here. Aaron Rodgers, he's at a turning point at this point in his career. Like, hey,
turning point for what? Turning point for what?
If he doesn't perform in this season, he getting the boot out of here just because.
No, he's not. Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere. He's not going nowhere.
I'm saying this though, Trey. I'm just saying this. If it comes to a point that Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers don't get.
Don't you tick me off today, Clarence? Don't tick me off. I'm emotional about my Packers. You know I'm emotional
about this. Trey.
I'm emotional about my Packers and Aaron Rodgers. You know this.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand, man. Like the Bengals need a great backup. And I think he'd be wonderful. But
hey, you need to stop.
Hey, man,
I'm not even going to entertain you. I'm not even going to entertain it.
If he doesn't get the job done this season, Jordan Love is going to probably start this season if Aaron Rodgers can't get on board.
the next 2 years at minimal, Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. You want to make a bet on it? You want to bet on
2
it?
years minimals. This might be his 2 year window. Hey, what you got for us in this next 2 years window?
You know what's so funny? It's people like you that really irk my nerves when y'all be trying to be critics of Aaron Rodgers. Do you not know Aaron Rodgers last year? He had 26 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, and had over 4,000 passing yards last year. Aaron Rodgers didn't have a bad season last year. It's just that Aaron Jones had a good season, and the offense was ran through Aaron Jones. That doesn't take away from the greatness of Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't take away from his greatness.
I'm glad that you brought that up. So Aaron Jones is a free agency in 2021. And boy, Trey, if you look at that free agency, potentially running backs that can be free agency, that running back is loaded. But what are your expectations for the Packers in the NFC North this season?
We'll win the NFC North with ease. Easily. We'll win the NFC North. Let me explain to you. Let me break it down. Look at the Chicago Bears. You got Nick Foles, you got Mitchell Trubisky. Me personally, I don't believe in either one of them. I know Nick Foles had his Super Bowl run with the Eagles a few years ago, and that was an outstanding run. One of the greatest playoff performances we have ever seen. But there's a reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars traded Nick Foles away. It's the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles didn't believe in Nick Foles being their future franchise quarterback. It's also because Carson Wentz is pretty good too. But Mitchell Trubisky he's been inconsistent. He is not a consistent passer of the football. And I don't believe the Bears organization and Matt Nagy really believe in Mitchell Trubisky, if we're being quite honest with you. I remember last year, Mitchell Trubisky came out and said that he doesn't like the fact that the Bears have like TVs on throughout the facility. Why? Because he's watching these shows that are criticizing him. Do you remember that? Do you remember that story?
Yeah, that's a good one right there. Hey,
yeah.
Worst case scenario is Mitchell Trubisky, and Mitchell Trubisky watching TV in the facility is ridiculous.
Yes, because he can't even handle the fact that he has been terrible. He's been terrible. And I know Khalil Mack is frustrated because Khalil Mack got his big contract, and now he's playing with the Chicago Bears, and their offense is so pathetic, so inept because of Mitchell Trubisky. They have inconsistent quarterback play.
And then he's the second highest paid outside linebacker in the NFL now. You know, Myles Garrett overcame him, $25 million a year. So Khalil Mack is probably pissed off. He probably owe Aaron Rodgers like 8 sacks in this season coming up. But I'm gonna just say this.
I got you, because I want to break down the NFC North real quick. Look at the Detroit Lions. Do you really believe in Matt Patricia? I don't. I still got my questions about Matt Patricia. I'm not so sure if Matt Patricia can lead the Detroit Lions to the playoffs. Matthew Stafford, every single year he gets injured, Clarence. Every year he's injured. He's never 100% throughout the whole entire season. Let's look at the Minnesota Vikings. I still got my questions about Kirk Cousins. I know he won a playoff game last year against the Saints, but I still got my questions about Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins, he hasn't proven to play well in big games. He played well last year in that game, but the following week, they got beat down by They got beat down by the 49ers in the Bay. They got beat down by the 49ers in the Bay. It wasn't all the defense and so forth. Kirk Cousins has not won big games throughout his career. He robbed the Minnesota Vikings of that money. Yes, he did, didn't he? So Kirk Cousins is elite. Kirk Cousins is elite. Is that what you're trying to say?
Get this straight. First of all, Kirk Cousins led the league in play action touchdowns with 13, which was really impressive. Impressive.
So he's elite to you.
I'm not saying he's elite though, Trey. I'm not saying he's elite, but he's good enough to lead a team to a playoff, and he deserves some credit.
So let me ask you a question. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Do you believe in Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers?
Let me tell you like
Go ahead. Yes or no, huh? Do you?
I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Larkins. Last year, in my opinion, I believe that Kirk Cousins did play better than Aaron Rodgers in that season alone because the way how the offense was constructed towards the running game and the play action, which he excels in. Like play action was the best thing for him. Kevin Stefanski is a brilliant with the run design plays. And at that point, Kirk Cousins was coming up, and then he went into New Orleans, Trey. He went into the Big Apple and won a playoff game against the one and only Drew Brees, man. So let me get this straight. If you take Dalvin Cook off the Minnesota Vikings, because we know Dalvin Cook has had some injury issues throughout his career. If you take Dalvin Cook off the Minnesota Vikings, are the Minnesota Vikings a playoff contender? Yes.
Without Dalvin Cook?
Look, let me say
What?
this.
No.
These games that he missed, they won like what 2 out of the 3 of the games that he missed, that was impressive from good quarterback play. And I'm gonna tell you that if Jordan Jefferson pans out to be a good next up receiver, I think that'd be fine. For Cook, think about it. They're still dealing with his holdout. If they don't get the deal done, they have to go somewhere in the free agency or probably make a trade or maybe wait until next year's draft to get their running back again because he's not happy with the deal that they offered to him. I'm just saying that when you pay Kirk Cousins elite money, you can't just say, oh, man, this player right here makes them better because he brings to the table. No, you have a quarterback that you're paying elite money. You have to put all the talent on him, man, because at the end of the day, he's your quarterback. And he's
Kirk Cousins' agent, he really deserves an award because I believe
he does.
Kirk Cousins, he should be paying for his agent's kids' tuition forever. Kirk Cousins should be paying for his agent's kids. He should be paying for all of his agent's kids to go to college because he really robbed the Minnesota Vikings of that contract. I think he's getting paid like $84 million guaranteed. Kirk Cousins isn't worth that money. But we can get to that. He's not worth that money. Everybody remember going to
He won the playoff. He won the playoff game, damn it. He won the playoff game for Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is a brilliant coach that got a mind frame of, hey, we're going to win this and we're going to toughen this out, man. For Kirk Cousins, he had to break something out of Kirk Cousins to make him be better, man. And let me tell you, his agent do deserve a lot. Fully guaranteed? Everything fully guaranteed?
Yes.
Yeah,
I never seen anything like it. It was highway robbery. He should be arrested for theft. But listen,
before we move on though, for the Green Bay Packers, in order for them to be held, I really want to be watching like what Aaron Jones go bring to this season. 19 total touchdowns, rushing touchdowns last season, and now they drafted another running back in AJ Dillon, and you got Jamal Williams, so that's a 3-headed running back right then and there. So someone has to get cut. But it's not obviously Aaron Jones. So that's going to be very interesting what they're going to do around them 3-headed running backs, man. But we be watching you, Trey.
We'll be watching. Yeah, everybody remember going follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. So we about ready to bring in Benjamin Roy. He's a 3-star recruit out of Liberty High School. He's had offers from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Colorado State, Northern Arizona, Georgetown, Navy, Air Force. And on May 20th, he decided to take his talents to UCLA. We welcome 3-star recruit out of Liberty High School, Benjamin Roy, to the show.
Oh, man.
Let's see if he's ready. Is he ready? Benjamin might not be ready for us just yet, Clarence. We're going to bring him on here shortly.
I think he's a little nervous.
Okay, now he's gonna be on. He'll be on. He'll be on soon. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Technical difficulties.
Let's continue real quick. So, I said the Packers. I believe we still gonna win the NFC North. Who do you believe will win the NFC North? Who right now, if you had to pick today on Wednesday, July the 15th, who are the favorites in the NFC North, Mr. Nixon?
I think I'm gonna say this: if they get a deal done, if the Vikings get a deal done with Dalvin Cook, I think they're front runners.
Don't give me no ifs.
Look, you in this NFL, you can't give a clear answer on something because the investigation going on with it. So I just feel like if they get a deal done, the Vikings are the front runners. But as of right now, the Green Bay Packers, I got them with the NFC North.
Let me ask you a question. So you saying if the Vikings get a deal done with Minnesota, if the Vikings get a deal done with Dalvin Cook, they'll be the favorites?
Yeah, they'll be definitely be the favorites.
Okay, so didn't Dalvin Cook play last year and he was healthy? And they still couldn't win the NFC North. So what happened last year?
New year, man. It's a new year. They got new weapons. They ain't have to deal with the same problems from last year. Stephon Diggs, he wasn't happy all season. He was ready to go. I can tell you right there, he wanted to get traded by the deadline. Like, it was so many problems that they was dealing with, and now they cleared them all out. They got new faces, new coaches, and now they're ready to rock and roll, man. And you just pay Kirk that fully guaranteed, man.
I still think my Packers are the favorites in the NFC North. But let's move on before we bring on Benjamin on the show. Let's move on to this is NBA. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers have arrived in the bubble, and Sixers head coach Brett Brown says he's moving Ben Simmons to the power forward spot, and Shake Milton will run the point guard position. Do you like, love, or hate this move for the Sixers?
I think I would say.
Okay. Okay, hold on. All right, let's start over. He's a three. Hold on. Let's bring him on. He's a 3-star recruit out of Liberty High School. He's had offers from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Colorado State, Northern Arizona, Georgetown, Navy, Air Force. We are going to welcome Benjamin Roy to the show. What's up, Benjamin?
What's going on, Benji?
Nothing. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Man, we're here to talk some sports with you, man. How are you? How you enjoy that Nevada weather?
Not really much. I would say it got up to like 1:0 yesterday, so it's been pretty hot. So ain't much to enjoy.
All right, Benjamin. Let's get right to it. You chose UCLA on May 20th, but you had 8 other offers from other schools as well. So my question for you is, as we start the interview today, why did you choose UCLA?
So a big piece of my education, you the top 3 public institution in the country can't really compete with the top of, I built a great with Fry, my beautiful LA, relationship I have with the education and the ability to play Power 5 football. You couldn't that spot for me.
Go ahead, Clarence.
Okay, then. So, Ben, Chip Kelly is the head coach for the UCLA, and you see what he brings to the table. Like, what excites you more that you're going to be getting coached from the great Chip Kelly?
Just the NFL experience he has, and on top of that, even before the NFL, when he was at Oregon, he practically invented the RPO, basically a staple of the new offense today. So, being under that tutor, really exciting for me. I'm looking forward. You can't really experience. So that was a plus side for me.
Benjamin, talk about your football future. Like, when did it all start? What made you fall in love with the sport? Who did you look up to growing up? Who's your favorite player now? Give us a little bit of understanding of, how your football journey started.
So for me, it goes way back till I was about. My dad's a big football guy. So he always watched football together every Sunday. The Bears would come on. My dad was a big fan of defense, like the type of guy who loves defense. So growing up, watching the Bears, you had that Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Charles, and so that's what I'm watching. So I love that.
Benjamin. Somebody know familiar with that Lance Briggs and Brian Urlacher.
Oh yeah.
Wait. So let me get this straight, Benjamin. You are a Bears fan?
Yeah, I've been a Bears fan.
Oh man. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the show before you came on, or if you ever had a chance to watch us or check us out. But I'm an ultimate Packers fan. I'm a Packers fan, man. I love my Packers, and I didn't know you as a Bears fan.
I feel bad for you then. A-Rod's leaving soon, and he's your wonder boy. So once he's too.
I know, but Benjamin, you got to be a little careful because in his career, he has owned your Bears. So I'm pretty sure you probably want him to leave because he's owned your Bears.
I definitely want him gone. I want him out of there. I want him as far away from the NFC North as possible.
Go ahead, Clarence.
Yeah. So Benjamin, like you say, you grew up as a Bears fan. Like, can you give us one memory that when Aaron Rodgers broke your heart?
Plenty of Hail Marys. There was one. It was a Sunday Night Football when they were beating us 42 at half or something like that. It was just there are some ugly games like all the times we're in playoff contention, 9-7, 10-6. We got to play Green Bay at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what
exactly game you're talking about.
But you know what the funniest one was though, Benjamin. I know this is gonna be painful for Benjamin to hear this, Clarence. The hardest one probably was the one when Aaron. I don't know if y'all remember. I can't remember exactly what year it was. I think it was 2013. He had his collarbone injury, and he returned on the last game of the season. He came back. It was him and Randall Cobb, and the NFC North title was on the line. And we in the Packers was playing in Soldier Field. It was like 4th and 8. Julius Peppers had got close to Aaron. He almost sacked him, but Coon, the fullback at the time, he got just enough of Peppers. So Aaron, he drifted to his left, threw the ball to Randall Cobb. It was a floater. You remember that play? I know you remember it, Benjamin.
I remember vaguely because I try to forget all the nightmares, but I mean,
yeah.
I remember that time. We almost I saw it recently. I think I saw it on a highlight or a replay, but yeah, it's countless times. Like he's done it over and over and over and over. And as a kid, I hated him. I was like, you know what? He's so lucky. This and that. Like, but as soon as I got older, I'm like, he does this on a consistent basis. That ain't luck. Like that's not luck. He does that. Like that is what. I mean, right. as he's coming out the league, we're coming up. See, we got a good defense coming up this year. Hopefully, we scare him off our front seven.
So let me ask you a question, Benjamin. Who do you believe is the greatest Bear in Chicago Bear history? Like, who would you say is the greatest Bear in Chicago Bear history, if you had to say?
So in Chicago Bear history, I mean, I have to go I'd have to go with Walter Payton, Sweetness, or I'd say, or like you go Dick, Mike. I'd probably have to go with Singletary because that was when they won that Super Bowl in '85. I would probably go with Singletary or Walter Payton. It's a toss up, but I mean, my dad would kill me if I said anybody other than him. So
I give you that. So so Benjamin, Mitchell Trubisky, the Chicago Bears declined him for his 5th year. Personal expectation for
I'm hoping from what I've heard and from what I've been keeping up with, I think Mitch is gonna rise to the competition. He's gonna rise to the challenge of Nick Foles, and that's what we're all hoping. I mean, he drafted 3rd overall, so like he better come in and produce. But I think like his problem is accuracy. It's always been accuracy, and it's always been accuracy and decision making. So if he helps his decision making and works on that accuracy and we get a little more help in the O-line, I think this will be solid because if you look, he crucified all over social. But if you look, his numbers aren't too far off from Josh Allen's. So, like, Mitchell gets that. But I feel like Mitchell will come in, and as long as he doesn't have accuracy or decision-making issues like he had last year, I think above average, game manager type quarterback for us, which is what we need. Defense is so solid that.
Okay, Benjamin, you are listed at 6'3", 275 pounds, and I know, and I've seen some of your tape, man. You're an outstanding, center for Liberty High School. What are some of your improvements that you want to improve on your game heading into your senior season?
Me, I'd say my finishing ability. I've been told that I finished well, but I want to be able to not only just finish them, but I want to impose my will and finish. I can get to a second level block or something like that. Then obviously just feet. If I first get my feet and improve them then feet and finish, that's really a key in an O lineman. So if I just capitalize on those and increase those, then guys are limited.
I give you. I like that. I like that. So Benjamin, like what Trey said, you're going into your senior season at high school. Do you have like an expectation that would like to have with your guys on the line? Because you guys on the line, y'all like brothers on the line.
Yeah. So for us, this quarantine, if there's one thing that quarantine served well for us, it was that we got so much bigger. Our average size of the line last year was probably anywhere from like 6'1", 6'2", 300, 280-ish. Our average size of the line like 6'3", closer to 6'4", 305. I'm probably the same size as the smallest. Our left tackle, as of now, we still have some spots up in question, but as of now, our left tackle is like 6'4", 305. Our guard is huge. He's like our left guard is about the same size as me, and then our center 6'3". I put on 5 now, and then our right guard is about 6'2", 6'3". Our right tackle grew so much, 6'3", 6'2". He's at a solid like 6'5", probably pushing like.
Yeah, that looks comfortable, man, right there, man.
Yeah.
Closer to 330, so we're huge up front now. The expectation, we had a solid last year and we're solid in our expectations this year are be like size and the skill and the technique and how young we are. I feel like we could take off and we could be one of the best West Coast.
Yeah, so Benjamin, I want to ask you a question because we know right now as a country we're dealing with the pandemic, and we know the NBA season got shut down at the end of March, and it's been questions as to whether or not we're going to have an NFL season or college football season as well. Do you believe that we'll ultimately have football this fall, or you think it's going to be something that's going to be tough to make happen?
I believe that we'll have a football season. I feel like it's going to be modified a bit, but I'm confident that we're going to have a football season just because of the business aspect that the world needs sports. Aside from business, the world needs sports is so underrated in the world sense, and I feel that it brings people together and it gives the world basically something to do, something to lean on and have pride in. And so aside from that business aspect, is there so much money going to be lost if NBA season, NFL season, or an NCAA season? So we're going to have at least a modified schedule because I've been in talks that they actually pushed the start time October. So they pushed the start, took out 2 out of conference. They took out 2 out of conference games and they replaced another conference game. So you said, for example, we picked up Washington. So we had to drop San Diego State, Hawaii, and had to drop Mexico State. But then we pick up Washington and Virginia. So they're gonna do an all conference schedule when we play SEC, so on and so forth. I feel like you can't. It's too important. It's too valuable, and they'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clint.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy that you just said like they took out the interconference game, and y'all gotta like basically adapt to like just playing your conference games. Like this pandemic been going on for months now. Did the COVID-19 personally affected you? Like, did it like open up your head or open up your mind more about what you would do better or what you would have did better?
It definitely gave me a lot of time on my hands. I was able to not focus more. I feel like I'm pretty squared away school wise, but it just gave me time, spend more time with my, really focus on once you're quarantined and once you're at home, you really get to look and really evaluate. And so it really gave me a chance to, my family, school, football. So that's I loved about it. I was able to take advantage of quarantine. That's pretty much it.
We're live here on Wise Guys Sports on the Worldwide Sports Network with 3-star recruit Benjamin Roy of UCLA. So, Benjamin, I want to ask you a question about NFL players that play your position. Is there any particular player that you kind of mold your game around or kind of like not necessarily copy, but kind of maybe look at and say, hey, I like the way he's playing. I'm going to try to maybe learn some things from him to better my game. Is there any particular player that you look at in that aspect?
So one of the big things is the mobility of Jason Kelce. He's at the center spot, and you'll see him a couple times in Doug Peterson's offense. He'll snap, quick 1-2, and then get out and pull for a rollout play for Carson Wentz. Or, I really love how Rodney Hudson how he finishes. He finishes blocks. He really punishes the opponent. There's a young guy. I watched an O-line video on him the other day. It's the Ryan Jensen, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I watched how like the mental aspect of how he approaches D linemen does to them, maybe like beat them on the field in their mind too. So once you own somebody on the field and in their head, own them completely. So those are 3 guys. A guy who's not a Ron Smith from Dallas. That man's a
Yes.
You look at him, no belly. He's like 6'5", 300, no belly, arms like massive cannons for arms. And he's one of those guys that I'm athlete because I look at him and I'm like, my eyes get a little big because he's a freak. He's huge, and I'd love to feel like him and play like him because that's what I strive to be. So,
go ahead, Clarence.
Yeah. So let's transition back to UCLA. So we know you're committed. You're committed to UCLA. You're a 2021 graduate, and let's just talk about this season. If college football season, we see that UCLA football is returning majority of their weapons, including junior standout Dorian Thompson-Robertson, and the O-line is significantly young, and they're only bringing back one upperclassman. So Ben, do you have an expectation for this UCLA team for this season?
After talking to Brian, talking with some of the other guys, I feel like they benefit from the pandemic and all of that. There wasn't any major coaching changes. They lost a couple weapons under the crucial. They returned Dorian. They returned some of the majority. They returned. They only lost Devin Asiasi and Josh Kelly. And I believe we did a lot.
They got a nice setup up there. So,
yeah.
So they're ready for a big splash for this season.
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely some like building blocks there. They didn't lose a lot. They just continue to get better. As say a younger team that went, or an older team that has to put young, or they're not going to benefit. It would hurt them in the long run for a team that young, old, and pulls in young people, and then so I feel like UCLA really benefits from the pandemic.
So Benjamin, since you play center, I believe sometimes we don't give the guys up front enough credit like we should. We always talk about the receivers and the running backs, the quarterbacks. They get all the love, and we always forget about the big guys up front. So would you consider yourself playing a fun position because you play center, so you touch the football every single play, and every single play starts and ends with you. So would you consider yourself playing a fun position?
Consider it. I mean, I've played O-line all my life except for a couple times. I used to play fullback in the wishbone, and I used to play linebacker. So that's another reason why I'm a Bears fan too. So I know Brian Urlacher. I wore 54. Yeah. Wore 54 all my youth. That was who I idolized. But aside from that, I wouldn't, contrary to public, I wouldn't want to change positions. Like, I love what I do. I love it. I love on their ass. Like, I love snapping the ball. I love protecting my quarterback, protecting my running back. So, I mean, running fullback, that'd be fun. You get to mix of both. You get to score, run, you're the focal point of the offense. It's not O-line. I mean, I would say linebacker, maybe like a box or something like that. I wouldn't quarterback or receiver, any of that stuff. I love playing O-line. So
yeah. So I ain't gonna lie though, Benjamin. You're probably the first person that's gonna get hit as soon as you snap the ball. So I understand where you're coming from. So I definitely agree with you on that one. So that goes to my next question. Do you believe that offensive line is like the toughest position to even compete at?
I feel like, I would say so. Being an O-lineman, there's obviously a size requirement. You get some guys, that range from, Mike Evans at 6'5", but a shorter Tariq Cohen's 5'6". So for an lineman, you're big. There's something about moving somebody else against their will. Yeah, that's what I love about it. So on top of that, there's so much knowledge. You're practically, especially the center is responsible for all the calls in the middle and keeping the. So I feel like there's no other position tough to play in O-line.
How important, Benjamin, do you believe it is for a center to have a good playing relationship with his quarterback? I mean, you and your quarterback have to communicate every single play. How important is it for the quarterback and the center to always be on the same page?
Oh, it's probably the most important thing. If we call and I slide up adjust to protection, and the quarterback's on the same. That's the difference between a 15 or the quarterback going to the hospital. You have to protect back basically like he's your family, and so that's a big piece of it. For example, in youth ball, when we went to camp, me and my quarterback, like he'd be on the top bunk and I'd be on the bottom bunk. Like with having our quarterback and protecting him basically like he's your crucial.
Yeah. Go ahead, Clarence.
I agree. So Benjamin. So I know this is it's not a sports question, but it probably is a sports question. But how would you describe your personality when you're playing football?
Excuse my French, but I'm an asshole when I play. You know, I love being mean and I love being nasty and finishing blocks. I bring always to the field. I'm always yelling, like getting my guys ready. I feel like I'm the emotional and the vocal and the playing leader of my group. You know, I bring the juice and I bring the energy and I bring some confidence. Safe word to say is confidence. I bring confidence to my group, and so I feel like me on the field is I like to confident, vocal, high energy. I bring the juice to the O-line.
So I want to ask you a question real quick, Benjamin. Transition to some NFL real quick. We know this is going to be the first year for the Las Vegas Raiders playing in Vegas, and we know head coach John Gruden, he's excited about it. And I want to get your opinion and give us kind of a sense of how the city of Henderson and Vegas and everyone is feeling about their Raiders now that's going to be playing there in Vegas.
So the city loves it. Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Boulder City, Summerlin, all those places, like we love it. The Raiders are going to have one of the the greatest probably in the league because, you know, actually, the fact is my house is probably 4 miles away from the Raiders practice. So,
really?
You know,
Really?
Every time we drive down like in the town or whatever, we drive like into the majority of the area, you see Las Vegas Raiders and their big old. And then on top of that, the stadium, Allegiant Stadium, our major freeway is the 15, the I-15. No, yeah. I don't know why I stuttered, but so the Raiders facility is really right there by the strip. So like as you're passing, as you're going into the strip, the Allegiant right then and there. So a lot of people I have one of our team managers. He'll come up and every time they drive the 15, you know, stop, just look at it. Or anytime they come up, like in the where I live at, they'll look at the facility. Like they're gonna have probably one of the biggest fan bases, I would say, because the city.
Yeah. Now, real quick, Benjamin, I want to say this real quick because I have been to Vegas. Clarence hasn't been yet, I don't believe, but I have been to Vegas, and I know the distractions that Vegas presents to some individuals, and they can't handle it. So how big of a challenge do you believe it's going to be? I mean, for some of these guys it's going to be in Vegas. I mean, Vegas is always live. Every minute of the day, it never sleeps. So how big of a challenge do you think it's going to be for those players playing for the Las Vegas Raiders?
I feel like it's easy to get distracted, but once you commit yourself to something, I feel like that they stay on track. They've been doing this for 10 plus years. I don't be that big of a distraction.
Yeah,
I feel like football always comes first, at least in my eyes and how I see it. So I don't believe it's going to be too big of a distraction. But when the off season comes around, there's maybe an increased chance, a little more trouble.
Yeah.
All the other festivities that offers. So, but in season, I don't think so. I think players will have their minds be on track.
Yeah.
Clarence, you got one more question?
So one more question before we let you go, Benjamin. And you know it's the NBA bubble that's coming up weeks. Telling me, who are you rooting for in this NBA bubble?
I like the underdog story. I want to go with that. I want to see the Bucks take it off. I want to see
Bucks.
I want to see Giannis win his first championship. I'm tired of all the other nonsense. I want Giannis come in and win his first championship because then he'll stay in Milwaukee. He's not. There's speculations of him leaving, but if they bring that championship, Giannis will stay in Milwaukee.
It's not going to happen, Benjamin. I hate to break your heart, Benjamin.
That on wise guys.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But Benjamin, you want to shout out your social media, bro, before we get out of here?
You can follow me on Twitter at KingBan54. You can follow me on Instagram _5. And that's my. I don't use TikTok or Facebook, so.
Okay. Hey, Benjamin, we appreciate you coming here on Wise Guys on the Worldwide Sports Network, bro. And we definitely gonna bring you back on again, before the season starts or at some point in the future for sure, bro. We appreciate you coming on the show today.
Sounds good, bro.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Woo. Mr. Nixon.
Yes, sir.
So, man, that was a nice interview with Benjamin, man. I got some nice information from him, and I learned some things about Mr. Roy that I didn't know, and I'm really excited for his future as he's going to be a 3-star recruit attending UCLA, man. I'm excited for his future.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely keep a tab on him because like I said, they got UCLA got a young O-line and they got a 5th-year senior in Jake Button that's starting. That's the only big upper lineman that's gonna be on the line. So they're gonna be relatively young. So that's gonna be pretty interesting when he gets with the guys and he's on that line, man. I'm gonna be watching him a lot.
For sure. We're definitely gonna bring him back on the show. Everybody remember, go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. We'll be back on Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Clarence, you have a good night, bro.
You too, man.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.